Yes, this year, everything changed.
Braves lead! Braves lead! Braves lead!
The Braves are suddenly atop the National League West, down to the wire this weekend, and tens of thousands of brand new fans are doing the Braves Tomahawk Chop.
You see it all over, all over, even in Cincinnati, the Tomahawk Chop, you see it everywhere.
They believe that for the first time ever, an Atlanta team might actually be poised to win something big.
Well, this is the most exciting that I've ever seen in all my life.
From worst to first.
The Braves last won a World Series 34 years ago when they were the Milwaukee Braves, and guys like Hank Aaron were hitting right out of the park.
And Aaron rockets a terrific drive, 430 feet.
Then the Braves moved to Atlanta, had a couple of good years in the early 80s, and went straight downhill until this spring, when new players came in, young players matured, and they all got inspiration.
Deep to right field.
And they're finding the fans react quite differently to a winning team.
It's out of here.
It's good to hear them booing the other team instead of us.
Really makes you feel good. I mean, that knowing that the people are behind you and they love you.
It's just unbelievable to see a team go from last place and have 3,000 people at a game to turn around and see 50,000 Tomahawks.
It's a real turnaround, all right. The stadium's selling out.
Got my ticket!
No more long faces. In the dugout these days. And there are finally autograph seekers and die-hard fans, the kind who will hang around even for a rainout. And they have hope. Hey, if you thought this town could land the Olympics last year, and it did, maybe the thinking goes Atlanta's long losing streak has finally been broken. Aaron Hayes, CBS News, Atlanta.
Dodger Blue and the Tomahawk Chop, part of our world tonight. Bob Schieffer will have the news for you tomorrow. Coming up later tonight, a special 2-hour edition of 60 Minutes called The Entertainers. 23 years worth of first-class celebrity program.
2:45, it's Jeff Juden. That's the Astros starting lineup for the Braves defensively. They will have outfield of Smith, Gant, and Justice. They will have an infield of Pendleton, Belliard, Lemke, and Bream. Behind the plate, once again, it's Greg Olson. And on the mound, the most mature 21-year-old in the big league. There's a look at Steve Avery. Avery, you see his record. He is coming off of an outing in Houston where he got no decision. He pitched 7 innings. He gave up 3 runs, didn't walk anybody. Braves eventually won that 13 innings. The umpires for game 1. There's a look at him. Here's how they'll line up. Frank Pulley is at home plate. Charlie Williams at first. Randy Marsh at second. And Harry Wendelstedt is at third. We're about set to get underway. And if you don't like this, you need a hula hoop or something. Peter, kick us off.
I don't need a hula hoop, okay?
Okay, this is great. Steve Finley lead it off, followed by Craig Biggio and then Jeff Bagwell against Steve Avery. You got a 21-year-old Steve Avery facing 20-year-old Jeff Juden, one of the biggest games of the year here in Atlanta tonight. Finley, 287, 8 homers, all on the road, 54 runs driven anytime they strike, and listen to these people. Now the 0-1 on the way, and it's just a little bit low. 1 ball, 1 strike. If you think back on the season that Steve Avery has played, his most effective game came before a crowd this big in Los Angeles when he shut out the Dodgers. He falls behind 2-1 on Steve Finley. Pete, that's just one of the many that he has done well in the second half. Look what he's done in his last 7 starts. He has been about as tough as you can be down the stretch. Here's a 2-1 to Finley. Popped it foul, third base side. This will drift out of play, and the count even 2-2. You cannot imagine the excitement in this city over the possibility of the Braves winning the West. It is everywhere that you go. There are billboards all over the city. People have their homes decorated, signs on their front lawn. Here's the 2-2 fouled back and stays 2-2. And up in my city, Roswell, they were trying to give a little bit of a support with some street signs, and apparently it was met with disfavor. But the city out there. Maybe that one. Well, you see the area just below that, Pete. It's the area where they black out the seats to give the hitters a better background. And anything that you put immediately above that or on that would be a distraction to a hitter. Well, apparently Finley says he can play through it. And a 3-2 pitch on the way to him, fouled back again. It remains 3-2. Just to give you a couple of more examples of what's going on here. Every television station in the state just about had their camera crews out here before the game to have their news teams perform. And there were so many lights it was disturbing batting practice. Down the left field line by Finley. And just into the seats above the Houston bullpen. It's still 3-2. But there were so many lights shining out on the various anchor persons that first baseman and third base could hardly see the ball when ground balls were hit, bouncing balls, because the light was right at their eye. Another 3-2 on the way, grounded sharply to Lemke and right through it into right center field. That'll be an error right off the bat. Charge to Mark Lemke. And Houston gets the first base runner of the night.
Looked like Mark thought that this was going to come up. You can see it. He's in a good fielding position. Brought the glove up just above knee high. The ball skidded on him and stayed down. That's a play he makes most of the time.
Now the catcher, Craig Biggio, hitting .299 for the year with 4 homers, 45 runs driven in. Braves have had a lot of success against the Astros this year, 11-4 against Houston in the season series, but you can throw all those numbers out when you get to a series as big as this. There's a strike in the inside corner, 0-1. There is nothing these young Houston kids would love to do more than to come in here and spoil it for Atlanta. That's something that they could live all winter on.
And a lot of these Astro kids, Pete, if they continue to go and can get a little maybe input of cash over there with the Astros, may be experiencing the same thing on the other side of the field in a couple of years. They have done it the right way. They have a nucleus of very talented young kids here who can mature just like the Braves did.
There goes the runner. The pitch hit foul. The hit and run was on. He sliced it out of play to the right. That's 0-2 now. And Craig Biggio, Steve Finley will return to first.
You hate to see the leadoff guy get on anyway. Base hit, error, because in a game like this, you'd kind of like to have the first inning go smoothly. But one thing that the Braves can kind of fall back on is that the Astros have not fared well against left-handed pitching. Most of their wins have come against righties, and there have been times during the year where they have just out-and-out struggled against lefties.
There's a look at the runner at first, Steve Finley. Nobody out. A count of 0-2 on Craig Biggio. And the 0-2 on the way. Slapped out towards second. Lemke over to Belliard. One on the first. He didn't get it. They get the 4-6 force down at second base. Craig Biggio beating the relay to first on a high chopper. Not really a double play ball.
Biggio can run anyway. You see the big bounce there. Lemke with the sidearm flip, and I don't think they could have unloaded it any quicker. But Biggio with his speed wasn't even close down there.
So Biggio becomes the runner at first with 1 out now for Rookie of the Year candidate Jeff Bagwell. .295, 15 homers, 82 RBIs. He's hit .339 over the last 30 games. We've got a beautiful night here in Atlanta. Might have a little weather problem tomorrow. Houston also 19 of 22 on the season in base stealing against the Braves. There's a strike in the outside corner with a fastball and 1. The count on Jeff Bagwell. The on-deck hitter, Ken Caminiti.